Hello, I'm Miska Kaipiainen, the principal of Lens Open Source Project and Senior Director of Engineering at Mirantis. I'm excited to be here today at Launchpad 2020 virtual conference. I will be your guide, helping you to navigate the rough waters of Kubernetes and containers, and show you the way how to take full advantage of this great new technology with the help of Lens, the Kubernetes IDE. It's happening all around us. Containers and Kubernetes everywhere. Every day, hundreds of thousands of people create new clusters, develop containerized applications, and deploy those applications on top of Kubernetes. It has become the golden standard for container orchestration. How did we get here? The industry has been very creative and innovative in ways how Kubernetes has been marketed. With the help of DevOps movement, empowering individual development teams, leveraging 12-factor model, and infrastructure as a code principles, we have created the need for a system that is able to abstract everything as one. A single system to rule them all. Kubernetes has become this system. It has become the operating system for cloud. But hey, people say Kubernetes is difficult and complex. Absolutely. Many people and organizations are struggling to adopt Kubernetes at scale. There is complexity and complexity on top of complexity. On top of this, you might need to unlearn some of the things you have used to do in the past. Having had chance to speak with hundreds of Kubernetes users and operators, from beginners to ninja-level hackers, I feel Kubernetes is not too difficult or complex. People will get this perception only when they are using primitive or very limited tools for the job, or if they have failed to address the needs of all different stakeholders. By using proper quality tools and products, we can truly harness the power of Kubernetes and radically improve the speed of business. To get there, in my mind, we have to serve at least two important stakeholders. First, we have ops and IT admins who want to use system for centralized Kubernetes cluster creation, operations, and management. In addition, they care a lot about underlying infrastructure, security, and conformance. The industry has been serving these people very well. We have some amazing products for this segment. Docker Enterprise Container Cloud is a great example of such a product. Secondly, we have developers who are, in fact, the consumers of the clusters provided by the ops and IT admins. They are the people who actually access the clusters on a daily basis. They deploy, run, manage, debug, inspect, and observe the workloads running on top of Kubernetes. The availability and quality of tools and products for this segment has been lacking severely. Luckily, that's not the case anymore, and that's the focus of my talk today. The takeaway I want you to have from this is simple. Unless we have quality tools and products for both of these important stakeholders, we might not get all the benefits we were looking for. Docker Enterprise Container Cloud will get you on top, and when combined with the product I'm about to talk next, will take you where you want to be. I'm so excited about this. Lens, the Kubernetes IDE. IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. We could call it Integrated Operations Environment as well, but let's stick with IDE for a little bit longer. Now, if we would be doing non-virtual conference, I would be asking how many of you have heard or actually tried using Lens before. It's okay. Let's make it interactive. We can still do it. Alright, and probably I would see some 10 to 20% of people raising their hands. To be honest, I'm amazed how many people have started using Lens already. It's been out only for just 6 months or so. Lens combines all essential tools and technologies required for streamlining cloud-native application development and day 2 operations. It's all you need to take control of Kubernetes clusters and workloads running on top. For example, you might have found hard time trying to understand what is really going on in your clusters. With Lens, you will have complete situational awareness of all your clusters and workloads, and you will understand what's going on and quickly take actions if needed. Lens is designed for developers who need to work with Kubernetes on a daily basis. If you are somebody who is just getting started, Lens will lower the barrier of entry because it will let you explore your clusters and workloads very easy, take action to try out different things, and visualize everything in a way that makes sense and provides full context. If you are very experienced, ninja level heavy user, you will get things done fast. In essence, by using Lens, you will become more productive and the quality of life is improved a lot. Lens is a standalone desktop application for macOS, Windows, and Linux operating systems. It's free and fully open source under MIT license. If you want to get started, simply download the Lens application from Lens website and start adding your clusters. Now, you might wonder, how does Lens play together with Mirantis offering? Ship code faster. At Mirantis, we want to convert open source innovation into customer value. We want to be best in the world at this. We want to increase developer velocity to continuously deliver code faster for public and private clouds. And in order to do that, we want to put developers in the center. We want to invest in products and technologies that will improve the developer productivity. That's speed. Ship code faster. To have speed, we got to get right amount of simplicity, choice, and security. Simplicity does not mean less features. It means amazing usability and developer experience for using complex and feature-rich systems under the hood. Security means invisible security, something that is built into the system from beginning and it's part of its DNA. Something that is automatically applied to the underlying infrastructure and software running on top, without need for developers to worry about too much. Choice. It's simply choice. You should be able to choose the parts you want to use. For example, choice of infrastructure, cloud providers, or even host operating system running on your machines. Everything in here comes to life with Docker Enterprise Container Cloud combined with Lens. It's the end-to-end solution for harnessing the power of Kubernetes and radically improving the speed of business. All right, I hope you got the idea how Lens will play together with Mirantis offering on a high level. Now I'd like to talk more about Lens features in detail. Let's kick off with multi-cluster management. Unlike multi-cluster management systems designed for ops and IT admin people, this is the multi-cluster management from the developer's point of view. They can add any number of Kubernetes clusters to provide quick and easy way to switch cluster context and access workloads running on top. These clusters may be the ones provided by their ops and IT admin people, but they might be clusters running locally, used in some other projects, or used for hobby purposes, as an example. The clusters are added simply by importing the kubeconfig file and selecting the cluster context. Once added, it's fast and easy to switch between clusters. Since the requirement for adding a cluster is just a kubeconfig file, Lens works with any certified Kubernetes distributions where a user might have obtained the kubeconfig file. For example, Docker Enterprise Container Cloud, UCP, EKS, GKE, AKS, Rancher, OpenShift, Minikube, and many other flavors of Kubernetes. They all work straight out of the box. The great thing about Lens is that you will get one unified IDE across all your clusters, no matter what's the flavor. And there is absolutely nothing that you need to install in cluster. This in itself is great, because most of the developers we are talking about in here do not have sufficient right to install anything like this in their clusters. Since we are now talking about access control, let's discuss how the role-based access control is taken in account with Lens. It's all about Kubernetes built-in role-based access control. As you know, clusters may be configured to use any supported identity providers. Since Lens will authenticate users to Kubernetes with kubeconfig file, Kubernetes RBAC is automatically enforced. This is also reflected on the user interface. User will only see those resources they are allowed to access. Lens do not need admin level privileges, service accounts, or any other solution that would bypass the Kubernetes RBAC. Next, we have a smart terminal. Lens has a built-in smart terminal. It comes with bundled command line tools such as kubectl and Helm. It's different from your native terminal because the smart terminal will always have kubectl command available, and it will automatically switch the version of kubectl to match the currently selected Kubernetes cluster API. If API compatible version is not found, it will be downloaded automatically in the background. In addition to making sure you are always using the right version of kubectl, the smart terminal will automatically assign the kubeconfig context to match your currently selected Kubernetes cluster. As a summary, when you use Lens with built-in smart terminal, you are always using the right version of kubectl and context. I feel there is still something more I want to share with you. Visualizations. Lens is very visual, and there is a lot of detail in the user experience. One of the great features in Lens is that built-in integration with Prometheus to visualize everything. As you might know, people working on the ops and IT admin side of things have learned to write complex Prometheus queries. Most likely, they have created beautiful dashboards to look at. They are looking at the clusters from the bird's eye perspective. If you are a developer, you are interested in your own stuff. Bird's eye perspective might be nice, but it doesn't help you to debug and troubleshoot your own application. You don't necessarily have access to or want to learn Prometheus to write your own queries and out-of-context dashboards. That is why Lens will provide automatic visualization for all supported resource types, including the aggregated usage. Developers, or to be honest, ops and IT admins too, will get all the data they need, always in the right context. The basic metrics include CPU, memory, and disk with total capacity, actual usage, requests, and limits. The ingress metrics include byte send, success, failure, and request and response duration. Pod statistics also include network byte sent and received. Persistent volume claim metrics include disk usage and capacity. Wow, that was a lot. And to be honest, we are just barely scratching the surface of the available features. Let's move on and talk about Lens from the community and open source project perspective. We will start with statistics, not because I like statistics in particular, but because this project has some mind-blowing stats to share. Let's remind ourselves that Lens was made open source just a half a year ago. Since then, over 600,000 downloads, over 50,000 users, over 8,000 stargazers on GitHub. The users come from all around the world. It's one of the fastest trending open source projects on GitHub and definitely in Kubernetes ecosystem. It's the #1 IDE or UI or whatever you want to call it for Kubernetes, and if you are not using it yet, you are probably missing out on something great. What's coming on next? We are working hard every day to make Lens better. Our focus as a leader in this open source project is to remain vendor neutral, look ways for collaboration with other vendors in the cloud-native technology ecosystem, and focus on making features that are adding most value for our users. Against this background, the near future roadmap includes exciting features like Extension API. While the built-in features of Lens might feel great, it's just the beginning. Lens Extensions API, that is going to be a new feature released as part of Lens 4.0, will let you add custom visualizations and functionality to support your preferred development workflows. The Extensions API will provide options for extension creators to plug directly into the Lens UI. We are already working with a number of cloud-native technology ecosystem vendors to get their technologies deeply integrated and therefore more accessible through Lens. For example, an extension for a container image scanning technology vendor might add a warning icon next to a pod or a deployment where vulnerable image is detected. In addition, this extension might provide more details about this vulnerability when the pod or deployment is clicked. This is just a simple example, but I hope you get the idea. And really, this is just beginning. We want to bring entire Kubernetes ecosystem together. In addition to Extensions API, we will work on features to enhance Kubernetes developer workflows both locally and remote, enable teamwork, and naturally improve the usability and fix bugs reported by our users. There are so many great things coming, it's impossible to list everything in here. If you are interested, please take a look at the epics listed on our GitHub repo. Once again, if you're not using Lens already, you are probably missing out on something great. Download and get started today. For the most amazing end-to-end experience, check out the Docker Enterprise Container Cloud as well. I wish you all great time with Kubernetes and looking forward to meet you all in person someday. Take care. Bye bye.